Welcome back to the Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon, where we are still in Anchorville with Van, or once more, because this is the second chapter we are here with, and we still have a 4SPG with Merina here. Do we need something? I'm kind of busy right now. Your name's Merina, right? I'm from Arcade Solutions. Ah, so you have a fixers. I've heard a lot about you back in the capital. To think you really did come to Anchorville? The 4SPG mentioned you were from the capital. You're what, 14? You checked when the last train would be running, right? Does it matter? Besides, I can just get a place to stay for the night if I want. I've prepared the mirror for you already, so just shut up and take it. You want us to find your real family, right? Sounds like there's gotta be some sort of story behind that. What should we do? Okay. Fine, but first I want you to give us the details. Your 4SPG was a little sparse. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly what it is you want. Alright then. My whole life, I've been living with parents I'm not related to. That's because someone at the Anchorville hospital made a mistake when I was born. What kind of mistake? It wasn't even covered until around the end of last year, when my current parents got a note out of the blue. Said something to the effect of your daughter isn't actually a daughter? Because that mistake 13 years ago I was taken home by the wrong family. According to the documents I found in my parents' study last night, they were paid a hefty sum for damages too. You can't be serious. So it's a case where two children were born in the same hospital and mistakenly swapped. I heard it used to happen on occasion before orbital medical technology advanced. Such a revelation, you must be quite shaken. Not in the slightest. Actually, it was rather easy to accept. My parents had been kind of distant since the end of last year after all. My mom's been particularly strict lately. Do this, do that, don't do this. Don't do that. We've even gotten strict about table manners, and just the other day, they told me my new curfew was at 4 o'clock. Can you believe it? They just don't love me anymore now that they know I'm not their real daughter. That can't be true, but... Anyway, while I'm feeling out of sorts, I got into a fight with my mom during breakfast over something stupid. So I just jumped on the train to Anchorville. I told myself I'd find my real family. I'm sure my real parents, who are actually related to me by blood, would treat me better. After looking around town all morning, I heard some rumors about your 4SPGs from the local kids. Alright, I think I got the gist. It mostly fits the bill. You mean you helped me look? Yeah, but first we have to verify whether or not there was even a mistake in the first place, by asking questions. Did babies really get swapped? How? Stuff like that. Of course it happened. The victim just told you as much. I even saw the documents with my own eyes. Sorry, but did you actually bring these documents with you? Even if you did, it'd still be a rather thorny problem. We'll have to be cautious as we investigate. And if we can verify your story, we still need to take into account the other family's current circumstances as well. We won't fulfill a request at the expense of someone else's happiness. But just not what 4SPGs are for. Well, seeing if you've been acting on impulse, maybe it's time you calm down and leave the rest to us. Take this chance to think carefully about what you're hoping to get out of meeting your real family. Who knows, you might even find yourself crying in a closet like someone I know. Huh? Fine, whatever, I get it. I'll leave everything to you. There simply must be another girl my age somewhere in town. If you find her, you better listen to her story. Right, you keep it in mind. Talk about a spoiled brat. You can tell she's gotten what she wants her whole life. Guess it's no wonder she stopped trusting her parents as soon as they got a little strict. She does seem like a stubborn one. Thought she'd go back to the capital until she's satisfied. Doesn't change anything though. Like I said, we need to start by finding out whether this switcheroo even happened. You probably shouldn't just go and ask the hospital, huh? Right, that's why we're busy with a case. It would probably be better to hold off until we have verified the details. I'm sure it would have been quite a scandal 14 years ago, even in a city like this. Which would mean a news outlet or even City Hall might know something. Right, let's start from there.
Time to get our hands dirty.
Alright. Let's start at City Hall.
It's searching time.
It's looking like we'll have 20 more participants than expected during tomorrow's ceremony. Not to mention you got official notice from the presidential office about the military exercise. Man, it's looking like more overtime tonight. I'll do my best. Okay,
May I
child
have a
mix-up.
word?
Children being swapped at birth here? Not that I ever heard of. You must have heard wrong. Wait, you said it came to light late last year? Does that mean something to you? Well, I'm not sure if it's related, but around that time a local family did reach out to us about making a change in the family register. Due to some personal circumstances, they said they might need to change their child's registration. At the time, they just wanted to know what the procedure for that might be. You think that's it? The end of last year, that was the time when the mistake was reported? Sure is suspicious. The parents came a number of times. I remember they always seemed rather pensive. After multiple discussions, they ultimately decided against making any changes. They wouldn't really give us any details, but in the end, they did seem relieved by their decision. Guess that's not surprising, seeing as they had the kid for 14 years. It must have been distressing beyond words to be told suddenly that the child wasn't theirs. But it's the same for that girl, Marina's household too. Do you mean to say that the swapped child in question is a girl? Yes, wait, did the family came for consultation of a boy? They sure did. I can't really tell you anything else, seeing as this pertains to a citizen's private information. But no matter how you think about it, mixing up a boy and a girl would be difficult, don't you think? Family I mentioned probably isn't related to your case. Oh, was really hoping we found a lead. Sorry, I was hoping to pay you back for everything you did for us too. Don't worry about it, thanks for sharing anyway. Guess we have to look somewhere else. Okay. Actually, it's closing for the day. We're only still here for prep for tomorrow. If you need any paperwork handled, then come back another time. To be perfectly honest with you, Mayor Mason's staking everything on tomorrow's ceremony, which means we are insanely busy. What can you do? Okay, the other was... Adlanu. With Edwin from the Eaton News Agency. Listen, Edwin, aren't you chasing a story? He's one of my regulars, you see. Isn't that right, Edwin? Yeah, I've been coming here for a long time now. It helps put me at ease. But just because I'm relaxing doesn't mean I turn down any exciting news or info. Haha. Then listen to this. Just the other day was some insane traffic. Went to the hospital for a scoop earlier, but something fell off. There's got to be something more to what happened. Better gather intel. Maybe I'll do the rounds when I'm done here.
Got a question for you.
Where did you hear that story? I take it you know something about it? I figured an Eaton newsletter reporter might have a scoop. This isn't a good place to talk. Let's go outside. 14 years ago, there was a mix-up at the hospital. Or so the rumors said late last year. We're doing the rounds even at Eaton newsletter. Word started getting around shortly after Anchorville Hospital reopened. They've been closed due to nebulous circumstances. Oh, I did hear something about that place. Right, the former medical director had been arrested for ties to Armata. Sounds like news agencies knew about it. The mistake in question must have been discovered during the ensuing investigation and change in management. But you guys didn't report on the Mafia affiliation, did you? No, the authorities restrict our ability to publish any information about the arrest, in order to avoid confusion. It was strictly about anything regarding the Mafia, mind you. We had planned to publish an article about the babies being swapped, but I recommended against it during an internal meeting. I didn't want to cause any undue stress to the families, who were no doubt already going through a lot emotionally. And yeah, I thought it was your job to check a story out for all it's worth. Please, you're not all like those reporters at Buzz Raiders. I still try to position myself as a righteous reporter, I know. Wait, isn't that a line from Sunshine Onions? Did this reporter really serve as inspiration? Anyway, since we never did a report on it, I don't really know too much about it. Not about the families, and not about the boy himself. Sorry, but I don't really have any leads to give you. Wait, boy? Huh, but the person who asked us to look into this is a girl named Merina. Huh, is that right? From what I gathered, the baby who was swapped by mistake was definitely male. Never a result of a arrest jumbling records, I expect? In any case, this story may not be what you're looking for. Sorry to muddy the waters. You know, this might actually be useful. What could this all mean? Kinda surprised that both people we talked to said it was a boy that got swapped, not a girl. Yeah, though we can't say for certain that the information is wholly accurate. So what does it mean then? We're gonna hit a roadblock if things keep going like this. Let's head back to the client, give him an interim report. Good idea, let's head back to Merina. Good evening. Oh, you have people staying at Chat Noir. So you turned Spriggan? Wait, are they the 4SBG people I keep hearing about? He's a kid from the general store. What's the connection here? When I was asking around town, Judith's the one who turned me on to the 4SBG rumors. It seems he's gone out of his way to check up on me. I was worried since I didn't know if the 4SBG people would be scary or not. But it looks like there's nothing to fear since you're all friends with Judith. Well, you came back, so you must have learned something, right? Yes, but there's something that's bothering us. Do you have time to talk right now? Yes, I've already explained the situation to Judy, so you can tell us both. What? That doesn't make the least bit of sense. We've been gathering info and listening to the local rumors, and it does seem like some babies got mixed up. But 2 sources have claimed it was a boy who got swapped. No way, what are we even saying? That's simply impossible, I mean... Yeah, normally something like this would be impossible. But if we set normal aside, then maybe... I mean, we have Kato as an example about the gender shift, right? Huh. Might be a stretch too far. It seems more likely that... Huh. A boy and a girl? Anyone can tell the difference between a boy and a girl. But there is no evidence that that wasn't the case. Such a mix-up is certainly inconceivable. But right now it would be better to take everything at face value rather than stick to preconceptions. It seems like you've had trouble finding a family with a girl your age too, right? Maybe looking at this under the assumption that a boy and a girl were swapped could turn up new leads. Wow, he fixes really something. I think we're starting to get an idea of what's going on. Why don't we head to the hospital next? Good plan. With what we have heard, we may be able to obtain new information. Could you please wait a little longer, Merina? We'll definitely get to the bottom of this. Of course, what you do next is entirely up to you. Fine, I leave it to you. I have to figure out what I'm going to do when I actually meet my parents anyway. Okay.
Off we go.
Time to go to the hospital.
Got a question for you.
Huh? How do you know about that? That's confidential information. Everyone not directly involved was sworn to secrecy. We'll only be going off of bits and pieces of hearsay. But judging by your reaction, there really was a baby switcheroo here at the hospital? Ah! So you tried to trip me up. I didn't realize I was talking to a scoundrel. Nah, you're overselling him. He may say he's hard-boiled, back-alley bad boy, but he's nothing more than a big softie. Hey! We are involved, actually. Merina asked us to look into this issue. She stumbled on this by accident and has been deeply troubled by it ever since. We won't make this information public, nor will we use it for nefarious purposes. So can't you please tell us the details? I suppose I don't have a choice, especially if it's for her benefit. This all went down 14 years ago, long before I was assigned to this hospital. The hospital was investigated due to the former management being in cahoots with the mafia, which is related to the Dr. Grant incident. It was during this investigation that I uncovered the data regarding the mistake in question. That mistake is the mix-up with Merina, right? So just how did the boy and the girl get swapped? I was in disbelief myself when I found out, to think such a sloppy medical practitioner might still be employed. As it turns out, there was an issue with the ultrasound machine, which meant the sex of the babies couldn't be determined until birth. On top of that, the fathers were absent for the births due to work, and the mothers had been unconscious at the time of delivery. And finally, there was a power outage as a result of old infrastructure, leading to these infants having their tags swapped by accident. This whole ordeal was just one coincidence after another. That said, it is without a doubt the fault of this hospital. How horrible, even the former management is to blame. I take it someone realized the screw up eventually and decided to cover it up? When I discovered this at the end of last year, I immediately contacted the families and had them come here to talk things over. As you can imagine, both sets of parents were flabbergasted. They took their time to mull things over. And in the end, they both said that their child was their child regardless of blood. We compensated both families and proposed that we hold a press conference to make the situation public. Or the parents all decided they would rather prioritize the mental health and well-being of their children above all else. That's why the information has been kept confidential, and why it has been kept a secret from the children for the time being. The families are hoping to come up with a way to overcome this together when it comes time to tell the children. By the goddess. In other words, they were prepared to lie. Not for their own benefit, like I did. It was so they could protect the family bonds they forged over the last 14 years. It takes some real strength. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Dr. Hussein. Now we know the truth behind the mix-up. We need to think carefully about how to share this with a client if we do at all. Yeah, imagine how confused Merina will be when she finds out the truth. Thank you for thinking of her. Well, I think we can pretty easily narrow down who the other family is. You're right, of course the doctor couldn't share any more personal information. But if a boy was born on the same day as Merina, we just need to ask her when she was born. Right, and we know when the boy was born too. Seems like we're on the right track. Now we gotta figure out what to do from here. Let's check in with the kid and see what she said. Yeah, let's head back over there. And it's probably best. What was this? You.
We're off.
What's his name? Judy. Everyone. So you've returned? Well, learn anything? Oh yeah, a whole lot in fact. But we'll keep the report simple. Wanda's companions shared what they had been told by Dr. Hussein regarding the mix-up. They also explained that both families had met at the end of last year and what they had mutually decided. Huh. We've got a lead on who the other family is, but we'll be holding on to that for now. Whether or not we share depends on you, so if you could offer a bit. Yes, thanks to you. I do want to meet them. My birth family. I've come this far after all. I think you're ready to handle it the way you are now. Then we need to look into who the boy's family is carefully. Yep, and your birthday is the hint. Turns out the babies that got mixed up were born on the same day. Ah. I see, that's what happened. What are you on about? Merina, Judy? Actually, I told Judy the details while we were waiting for you. I thought maybe he'd be able to think of something that would help me find my family. And when I told him my birthday was on November the 10th, I said that my birthday was also November the 10th. It was pretty surprising to find out we are born the same day. It couldn't be, could it? My mom should be coming home from work soon. I'm sure she won't mind. If it's okay, could you come with me? I'm home. Oh, Judy, are you back already? Welcome. Oh my. Hello, Judy's mom. Welcome, Merina. I'm very happy to meet you. When I met your parents, we showed each other pictures, so I knew what you looked like. I see. So you knew too, Judy? Well, I never expected something like this. But I did think you've been acting strange since the end of last year. Sometimes you'd act like you were hiding something and go somewhere without telling me. Must have been to meet with Merina's mom to talk, huh? Then you've been meeting with my parents? They did sometimes leave me to go elsewhere. Even when I asked, they'd never tell me where they went. It's true we've been meeting from time to time ever since we met last year. I'm sorry, Judy, and Merina too, but I couldn't say anything. We really had no idea how to handle this. During our discussions at the hospital, the idea of exchanging families did come up, but it's okay, Mom. I was really surprised when I learned all about this. But even if we aren't related by blood, you're still my mom. Judy. You're really something, Judy. I didn't think about what my parents were going through at all, and kept getting into fights with them. Compared to you, No, nothing that happened is your fault, Merina. Mom, what are you doing here? She only just arrived a moment ago after driving here from the capital. Just before you left, I realized you had looked through the paperwork about the mix-up. I thought you might come here, so I asked if I could wait for you. I'm so sorry, Merina. Ever since I found out about the mix-up, I felt so conflicted. Knowing we aren't technically related and what a sweet boy Judy is, that doesn't mean I shouldn't be nice to you just because you're not my own flesh and blood. Just didn't know how to handle my feelings. That's why I lashed out at you. To think just how much I've hurt you. No, Mom, it's okay. I was just acting spoiled and selfish. I didn't know how you felt, or that you had been lying for my sake. Only now do I understand how hard that must have been. I mean, I'm not good at expressing myself, just like you. Oh, Merina. We're pretty blessed, Judy. We both have two real families, after all. I feel exactly the same way. Judy, we love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy for you both. It sure seemed like this would be a problem without a solution. Honestly, I had no idea how things would end up. Me neither. I'm glad we got to see this. Ha! Just goes to show that stuff like sharing blood doesn't mean a damn thing. It seems like everyone's been able to accept the truth too. I mean, I'm still flustered by all of this. What our families decide to do next is kinda up in the air too. Now that we both know the truth, we're all going to have to talk together about what to do. Yeah, I think that'll be for the best. Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot to work through, but as long as you watch out for each other, things will work out. That brings this case to a close. I'm really glad I posted that 4SPG. Thank you so much for your help today. I'd like to say thank you as well.
All in a day's work.
Mira deposit confirmed.
Good. Now...
Planner launched.
We have 3...
Planner launched.
We have these three events here to look. So let's start. Feri. Feri wants to cook something. I'm sorry for being so selfish when you're still open. Please, it's nothing. Orders have slowed down anyway. I've prepared all the ingredients you asked for, so use them however you like. Thank you very much. Wow, these pistachios are super high quality. Look how many walnuts and hazelnuts there are. What was them supposed to start with again? Let's see, Umi always started with what? What's all this? Wait, are you making baklava? Oh, hi man, you can tell? Pretty obvious, seeing as you got nuts and everything you need to make pie crust. Farida, I had no idea. No idea that you could make baklava, the Central East's famous traditional pastry. Princess Zita got me addicted a few months ago, and let me tell you, it's impossible to track him down in the capital. Why didn't you tell me this sooner? How could you keep this from me? I wouldn't go as far as saying I can make it. I just used to help out a little back when Umi made some. When I thought back on it, I got the urge to try and make some myself. But I don't really know where to start without Umi. Mind if I help then? I've looked up recipes and cooking tips for it a bunch of times. Combine that with your memories and I bet we could make a decent stab at it. I'd love your help. Hell yeah. First we gotta do the prep. Well, I'll be. I guess I shouldn't be surprised you know what you're doing, seeing as you helped out at home and all. Cooking it for real is a totally different beast. You're even doing the dough from scratch. That's how we always did it back home. In the Central East, making the dough for baklava is something we've gotta learn for when we get married. When Umi got engaged to Abi, she practiced really hard. I guess now that you've finished your adornment ceremony, this is the perfect time for you to start practicing, huh? Alright, I'm gonna grind these nuts. Thanks, the dough's nice and heavy now too. Next up, we gotta spread the ground nuts evenly on the dough. Then we put another layer of dough on top of that and cut into it. After we spread melted butter over the surface, we put it into the oven and get to work on the syrup while it cooks. There's so much to do. The oven. What's preheating? Calm down, Feri. You've got to get your head in the game. It's just a trial we must overcome to attain the pinnacle of sweet flavor. What, Feri? What are you two doing in the kitchen? There we go. Should take around 20 minutes to bake. Wow, it already smells so good. It's not going to explode or anything, is it? No, it'll be fine. Thanks, Agnes. Helps to have a pie pro in the kitchen. It's not exactly the same recipe, but I did bake with my mom all the time when I was little. Now, has the syrup finished boiling? This doesn't look like enough. You're imagining things. Just how much did you sample? Oh, he just popped out of the screen. I told you to have too much. My bad, I'll make more. And finally... it's finished, we did it! Wow, the pistachio smells so good. Can't believe I made something like this. This is your family's recipe, right? Doesn't it just look incredible, Van? Yeah, not often you get to have freshly baked baklava. No time like a present. Let's get everyone together and have ourselves a pastry party. Right. I'll prepare some tea. Soon they gathered all their friends and some local children, and everyone enjoyed some delicious baklava. The feel was so crunchy, all the crushed nuts packed inside are simply divine. But the two stars how the pistachios blend beautifully with the sweet syrup throughout the whole pastry. This right here is a true slice of the Central East, the stuff of legends. I'm glad you're all enjoying it. But even with Anya's helping out, it's definitely not as good as a real chef would make. Don't sell yourself short, Feri. Even amateur cooking has its own sort of charm. Not to mention that the satisfaction of cooking it yourself is its own secret spice. Now then, have you collected your thoughts? I can't hide anything from you, can I? Umi once taught me that baking can help you clear your mind. She was right. I think this helped me figure out some things. Is this about that soldier woman we fought earlier? Even if you put aside her unfamiliar equipment, it was clear she was really skilled. Maybe even as good as my brother. Can't imagine why a Jäger would hide their face and name if they were that skilled. No one in the Red Constellation or Zephyr matches her description, that's for sure. And the one person who might have isn't with us anymore. Yeah, I had no idea someone like her existed. Someone with her skills. Someone who can devote themselves so much to their mission while still fighting fair. The world really is vast. And yeah, I thought you were worried about her. I take it I'm off the mark? It's just I learned all too well how important it is to think things through during the last incident. I'm not just going to suddenly be as strong as my brother, or that soldier, but I've got to figure out how I'm going to fight when I next encounter her. I've been racking my brain about it the whole time. How am I going to bring all of my strength together to face her? My skills cultivated as a warrior of a Kruger. The new shard techniques I've been learning, and all of my friends at Aquat Solutions. So you've been looking forward this whole time. Might be a bit dangerous to have warfare on the brain while baking sweets, though, if I'm being honest. I hope you didn't accidentally mix gunpowder in the dough or anything. Give me a little more credit than that. I focused on what I was doing.
Of course, I am curious about that woman. About who she is. Still, that's not the most important thing right now. Not now that we know it's threatening Anchorville. I can ask her all the questions I want after I've disarmed her. And that should help us learn more about the vestiges, too. Van? What's wrong? You're looking at me funny.
Nah, I just didn't expect this. I was thinking this back during my adornment ceremony too, but you've really grown up. And you got this far not just because you're a warrior, but because you walked your own path, Feri. Someone like me who works in the shadows and runs away from the things I need to face, you're a real inspiration.
I've still got a long way to go. I've got work to do if I want to be able to hold my head up high in front of my brother, Ubby, or that woman. I know all this stuff is still going on, but I hope you'll continue to look out for me.
Of course. I knew she was maturing, but she's definitely surpassed my expectation. By the way, I noticed you made a whole other massive baklava. What say we cut that one up too? It looked incredible.
Sorry, but I'm sending that one back to everyone in the Jaeger Corps. Chloe's already helped me arrange for it to be shipped.
Oh, really? Wait. Didn't you say something about learning to make baklava being domestic training back in the Central East?
Yeah, that's right. But I didn't want it to show up unannounced, so I already got in touch with Ubby earlier on my...
Van Arkrai, I believe I already warned you.
This is a big misunderstanding.
Am I to assume this is exactly what it looks like?
Ah, you move too fast. Despite his mounting panic, Van managed to clear up the misunderstanding with Hassan, prolonging his life for another day. Then, after finishing his baklava, which tasted all the sweeter, he returned to work. Feri learned the recipe for Kruger-style baklava.
Planner launched!
Then we have Judith. Come now, you really don't have to help out when you've got so much else going on. I'm not forcing myself to do anything I don't want to, Mom. Honestly, everything else I got going on is why I want to do some deliveries. I might notice something. And besides, there's someone I want to check on. I see, him. Well then, I suppose I'll have to accept your aid. Just try not to mess up. It's been a while since you've done deliveries. I'll be fine. Jeez, you're such a warrior. If you say so. Haven't I heard that 100 times before? Well, I wish you the best of luck. Oh, I didn't see you come in. You're heading out? Talk about perfect timing. I am, and you're coming with me. Lucky me. Well, I did hear you ladies talking. Gotta admit, I'm kinda curious what's going on around your hometown, so I join you. Ah, it's the 4th delivery, just one left. Guess I shouldn't be surprised your mom's place is popular. But I'd have thought there'd be more tourists. The clientele seems mostly local. Yeah, we never did make a point of advertising that bar was run by a famous person after all. Grammy liked to say that if we relied on our fame to get customers, we'd lose sight of what's really important. Smart woman. I take it you haven't helped out like this in a while? It's been pretty busy the last few years, you know? And whenever I do get a chance to come back home, it's never for very long. Still, I like to help when I can. It gives me a chance to catch up with the community. But enough chit-chat. Why don't we get a move on? Let's see, the last delivery is for Herman. I'm worried about him. What's his deal? He's an older fellow from the neighborhood who's always been nice to me, even back when I was just a little munchkin. I think he was even friends with my dad when he was younger, so we go back a long ways. It's just he's getting on in years, his brain's starting to go. I figured this would be the perfect chance to check on him. What is it? Nah, just... I don't think you've ever mentioned your dad before. I've made it a point not to pry, but is he... Yeah, no, he's totally alive and well. He's not married to Mom, but he always stops by at least once a year. Oh, is that right? My bad. I've heard relationships like that aren't uncommon in showbiz. So does your old man work in entertainment too? Yeah, he's a scriptwriter. Still working too. And old Herman used to be a novelist, which is how the two of them got to know each other. Mom was still acting back then, so since they both had their own sources of income, they probably didn't think there was a reason to get married. Well, I suppose our other job might have prevented them from tying the knot. I don't know how much Dad knows, but I think he's come to terms with the situation. I see. I suppose it works out for your mom, both a performer and a scrim cat. Exactly. I know our family is kind of unique, but at the end of the day, he's still my dad and super important to me. Now then, enough about him. Let's get this last delivery done. Herman? It's Judith from La Nuit de Chat Noir. I have a delivery for you. Doesn't seem like he's in. Wonder what's up. Heard he's been found wandering at night lately. Kind of worried. Sounds like better sniff him out. Didn't you come here because you were concerned? True enough, let's hurry and find him. When older folks like him start wandering around, they usually go to places they used to frequent, or so I thought. Better start with the river then. Back in the day, he used to go fishing there while writing notes for all his latest projects. Hey, is that the guy? Oh, hold up, he's about to... Didn't expect you to use your powers like that. Good thing nobody spotted you. I'll toot my own horn, but I move pretty quick. Which can lead to you making plenty of mistakes too. You're so annoying. Look, everything's fine, so why sweat the details? More importantly, Herman, are you alright? We're about to walk straight into the river. Is that you, Judith? You're all grown up. Is your acting career going well? What are you saying, Herman? I just saw you last year. Never mind, I'm just glad you're okay. Is this old timer really not gonna comment on her getup? Anyhow, I brought your food. Do you remember ordering this? Of course I do. The pie from your place is just the best. Felt bad about having it delivered, so I was going to head over to the restaurant to pick it up myself. Well, you really didn't need to do that. Now come on, let's get you home, Herman. After making sure the old man got home safely, the two finished their deliveries, and then returned to La Nuit de Chat Noir, where Chloe provided them with a few drinks as thanks. You did well, considering it's been a while since you've run deliveries, Judith, and thanks for helping out, Van. Here, Judith, your favorite herbal tea, and some of our special hot cocoa for you, Van. Oh, thanks, Mom. Don't be afraid to ask me for help with stuff, you know? I swear you really do get ahead of yourself. As you can see, my daughter can be a bit rash, so I'd appreciate if you could keep an eye on her. Hey now, your daughter's been saving my butt. Watching out for her is the least I can do.
Seriously, Mom? He doesn't need to keep an eye on me. She makes it sound like you're my babysitter.
Let's not pretend you can't be a huge headache. And even if you weren't, you're still practically moved into Montmartre at this point.
I mean, you're not wrong. To be honest, I didn't think I'd be sticking around for so long.
That makes two of us, but I guess it's thanks to you that I've met people in showbiz. Thanks to that, also that answer, huh?
Oh, please. Don't act like you're not secretly stoked that you're friends with a movie star.
You do realize you're talking about yourself, right? But seriously, when I think back on it, the way you live your life has saved my ass a bunch of times. Which is to say, you've got my thanks.
How nice! You're being honest for a change. But look, the reason I'm here now, the reason I'm who I am today, it's thanks to you. I've never really teamed up with anyone as Grimcat before, and honestly, you guys are why it's going so well.
Everything's give and take, huh? Guess it's a little late to be realizing that, though. Anyhow, I'll be counting on you as usual, Judith.
Likewise. Even if my whole family has somehow gotten involved, here's to our continuing partnership, Van.
And so, after once again affirming the odd bond they shared, they returned to their respective evenings in Anchorville.
What's next?
And Risette. Risette seems pretty concerned about how she froze against the executor. I heard the Archbishop at Anchorville Cathedral is an expert on mental health. Might be worth a visit? Everyone split up. Ah yes, you must be the ones who reached out. Pardon me intrusion. Sorry about reaching out in the middle of the night. Please think nothing of it. The doors of a Septian church are always open. And if it's an ailment of the heart, then it's best dealt with sooner rather than later. Please tell me all about what ails you. I see. Your body freezes up under specific conditions. The first thing that comes to mind is PTSD. Psychological trauma. But I have no memories of your past, I recall. But though your memories might escape you, they are rarely lost in their entirety. Even if you cannot recall them, they remain in your consciousness, affecting your body and mind. It sounds to me like what you're feeling is a deep-seated fear that you once experienced in your past. A deep-seated fear. So, anything she can do about it? Not as such, no. If she suffered only from memory loss, perhaps, but psychological trauma requires careful treatment. Normally, your only option would be to consult a professional and undergo months of therapy. Normally, you say? Do you mean I have another option? With that, freezing up in fear in our line of work could be fatal. As Aquat Solutions concierge, I cannot afford to hold them back. Please, can't you tell me what I need to do? So that I can prepare for the future? I wouldn't normally recommend this, but there's something we can try if you insist. It's thaumaturgy, isn't it? I've seen it used a few times before. If I recall, its effects are brought about through prayer, and some consider it to be a more natural, fundamental form of orbal arts. Yes, though the general public is largely unaware of thaumaturgy's existence. By using it on the unconscious mind, one can summon forth old memories. However, in cases of deep psychological trauma, there is a risk of making those wounds worse. If you still wish, I do, please. With that, I'm sorry for being selfish, but I have to do this. If thaumaturgy can lead to some kind of improvement, I could not ask for more. And I know that no matter what, you'll be there for me, Mr. Arkwright. You can be strong-willed in the wildest ways, but I guess you'd have to be working with me all this time. Thank you. Father, if you would. Alright, but if things look dangerous, I will stop immediately. In the name of she who dwells above, do I hold this consecrated septium. Space's golden glow, consciousness' silver glow, call to heat the fragments of this moment's memory from the depths of their suppression.
Jeez, you're always leaving such a mess.
Cut me some slack, honey. Look, I even brought you something.
Oh my gosh, monster meat! Look! Why, this must be a blessing of the goddess. Give it here. I'll cook it right up. They're close!
I'll keep them at bay.
With that, deep breaths. Are you all right? Why, very well. You appear to be drained. I'm sorry to have put you through something so frightening. It would be dangerous to dig deeper. Let us call it a day for now. Yeah. After Risette calmed down, they gave her thanks to the bishop and left the church. But they made a stop before heading back to the rest of the group. Thank you for waiting. Are you sure you're alright? Just let me know if you're unwell. Yeah, take your time. Yeah, thanks a bunch. Feeling any better? Yes, thank you. Aren't you going to ask about the memories I saw? Without Mirabelle around? Nah, I'd feel bad. She's the one who's been invested in your past since the beginning. I do not think she would mind. To be completely forthcoming, none of the details were concrete. Not where I was, the situation I was in, or who was accompanying me. However, at the end, there's no doubt that I felt a wave of terror. I believe that to be the source of my trauma, the memory that causes me to shrink in fear. And yet, the one I witnessed before it was full of warmth. Full of voices that seemed familiar, and a great weight. I apologize, you must be completely bewildered. Hey, don't worry about me. What's important is that now you know you've got those memories inside you. You're right.
At some point, somewhere in my heart, I began to doubt. To wonder if I had ever truly existed as a human. When I woke up at the Marduk Company, I had nothing. No memories, no body, no home. Nothing concrete. Nothing at all. As you know, this prosthetic body cannot fully replicate all of the human senses. And while it simulates them for me through various devices and technology, none of it ever quite felt real. But meeting Mirabelle and all of you has made me feel like I've finally been able to become me. And now I know that I truly existed. I have a past. Memories of people who cared about me.
Yep, and even though those memories came back because of that trauma, that's just further proof that you are you. Proof that you had to fight through your fear to claim. I'm happy for you, Risette.
Thank you. But to be perfectly honest, I was terrified. Terrified that somehow my old memories would replace everything I had built here and now. But with you right there by my side, Mr. Arkwright, I was able to push through that fear.
I didn't do a thing. Besides, now that you know you've got a past, things are just getting started. When things settle down, you have to start looking for clues as to who you really are.
You're right. And I intend on asking Mirabelle and everyone else to help. That includes you, Mr. Arkwright.
Naturally. And so the pair enjoyed their cocktails at Chino's bar. And after meeting up with their friends, resumed work. Good, but I would end the episode here. And next time, I think we go into the Märchengarten. Or the Grimgarten, rather.
Alrighty.
Until next time then, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.